Good evening, everybody. It's a pleasure to stand before you this evening. In life, success is not just going to school and you pass, but in life, success is to realize what is good for you, and you like it very well, and you do it so well, and influence others. It's a very simple concept, and I want us to go through it. A mindset is a collection of beliefs and thoughts. You know, as a human being, as you grow, when you are born, from the first year, the second year, the third year, the fourth year, up to the seventh year, you are acquiring, beliefs. You are acquiring things, because when you are born, you're born in a new environment. So we form a certain way of doing things the first 7 years. So the first 7 years are very critical for a child. But more often than not, we take it for granted. We just leave it. We'll learn as much as it can. But it is forming certain thoughts in their mind. So mindsets are a collection of beliefs and thoughts that make up mental attitude, the attitude you have, the inclination, the way you react when something happens, the habits you develop, are dispositions that predetermines a person's interpretation and response to events, circumstances, and situations. So the mind is very important in the sense that it's actually, the mind is a filter. It filters the information you get. And once it has filtered the information, I'm told we get information for around 11 million just getting in your mind at a certain time. So the mind has the work to filter what is important, and then after it has filtered what is important, it interprets, and then after it has interpreted, if it interprets that this is a snake, and we know a snake can bite, then your body will react to what? So that's what that's the work of the mind. So it's something which is very important, that we have the right mental attitude, the right inclination, the right habit, and that will help us to interact with the world. Yeah. So a mindset is very important in the sense that it helps us to develop self-esteem. You know, one thing that is very important for you as a person is to be confident, to have high esteem. If you lose your esteem, actually you lose your existence. So you need to have a certain way of maintaining self-esteem yourself. It's very critical. Yeah, it's essential in developing self-esteem. It affects your self-dialogue, how you interact, how you communicate, and reinforces intimate beliefs, attitudes, and feelings about ourselves. The mind will determine how you express yourself, yeah, how you feel. Sometimes you are so moody, and that moody will mess up the whole day. That is your mind. You know, the mind is the one that has accepted that you'll be moody, but you can change the moods by encouraging yourself. So a mind is a mindset is a frame of, it's frame of mind, it's not frame of mind. A mindset is a frame of mind that does or looks at the sum of beliefs and opinions and thoughts that we have formed about the world and ourselves. The mindset is like a mirror. When you look at a mirror, you can see who you are yourself. But the mindset is things you think about and the opinions you develop between you and the world. So the mindset is a lens through which we observe our world. And we do that by our education. We go to school, we acquire some thoughts and minds, opinions. Through religion, also religion helps you to believe. Our upbringing, as you are told, the way you are upbringing is very critical, and the experiences you have to express yourself, that will determine the mind, and it sets. It's like a computer. The software, the program. By programming in a certain way, it becomes a normal routine for you. And that's the kind of mind we have in ourselves. So from Amita Ray, he said that the mind is a flexible mirror. That's a very important statement, that your mind is changeable, is malleable. It's a flexible mirror, adjusts to see a better world. You can actually decide to be seeing the better world by yourself. And but one thing that is critical over that mindset is that to change it is not easy. We can change the attitude. The attitudes are easier to handle. They are short-term in impact. That's why they are easier to modify, but our mindsets are deeply ingrained in our beliefs, and it requires extra effort to change them. So the attitude is easier to change, but the mind is very difficult to change. You need to work on it. So the concept of mindset has been around since 1970s. We find people like Bita Koresa, who came up with the effects of mindset on positive illusion in 1995. Makoro Murayama, Japanese, came up with the Mindscape Theory. Mindscape is a construct from which coherent sets of behavioral mindsets can emerge. In 1993, he compares the mindsets from the cultural standpoint, especially when it comes to construction. If you realize in Japan, such a room can be a dining room, can be a bedroom, can be everything. Yeah, you know them, they understand space. You don't have, you construct a sitting room, a kitchen, a bedroom, several bedrooms. They don't have that concept. And that has been ingrained. So he looks at the mindset from the cultural standpoint. Next. Carol Dweck, in her book, The New Psychology of Success, in that year 2006, she says, we can actually learn to fulfill our potential. We can learn to acquire our potential. We can acquire our potential through learning. It's not that you are born with it, but you can change your potential. She says there are two kinds of people. There are two kinds of mindsets. There is a fixed mindset and there is a growth mindset. Fixed mindset and there's a growth mindset. A fixed mindset, you view your talents and abilities as fixed. You are who you are. If you are tall like me, I'm tall and I can never be short. I'm who I am. So that is fixed. But to her, even if I'm tall, I can work, I can learn on how I can bend and achieve an activity for a short person. It's not as fixed. It is changeable. So a fixed mind says you are who you are, and you go through life, or your fate is to go through life avoiding challenges and failure. As you are growing up, you know, avoid challenges and failure. Because if you are not clever, you can never improve. If you are a fool, you'll always be a fool. But I don't think that's what you can accept. Even if I was born a fool, I can learn something and change. So that's a mindset, fixed mindset approach. Next. So, but over the years, it has been found with practice, training, and method or procedures, we can manage to increase our attention. With practice, training, we can manage to increase our attention, we can manage to increase our memory, we can manage to, even our judgment becomes more, we get more informed over time by training and practice. So there is this aspect of lifelong learning. Lifelong learning. Learning should never stop. Actually, you should stop learning when you are dead. But so long as you are still alive, aspire to be learning more. And in the process, you will keep your mind alive and you will enjoy your life. Because what is important in life is to have success and happiness. You can only be happy when you have achieved what you wanted. If you have not achieved, you will be a disappointed person. So, lifelong learning and brain development are key aspects of growth mindset. Noting that each person has unique genetic endowment. Everybody is unique. We are not the same, but everybody is unique. And that genetic endowment can have a purposeful engagement. You can have something you can do in life in a more productive way. For students, we have 4 types of students in their mindset. There are those with the growth mindset, who believe that with hard work and effort, you can get smarter and better. That one is very common. We have a second one, self-efficacy mindset. I can succeed with the help of the teachers and my peers, and with the resourceful environment, I can succeed. There are students who believe like that, and they succeed. There is also a sense of belonging, where in their peer groups, or in their, in their small school, they form a club, and because they have that feeling of belonging to that club, and that club believes in success, there are people who have such mindsets that when they belong in that group, they also succeed. So, and also it has been proved psychologically that when you associate with successful people, the chances of you succeeding are also high. So there's that kind of mindset, and the relevancy. Why you are struggling to do what you are doing, if you don't know the relevancy, it will not help you to learn. But if you know the relevancy, then you know you are working very hard because I know the purpose for me. I'm doing it because I know what I'm going to get. And that way, your mind helps them to learn. So there are 4 categories for students. The growth mindset do not believe that everyone can be anything. They don't believe that everyone can be anything. But they believe that anyone with the proper motivation and education can change. With proper motivation and education can change. Bloom taxonomy from literature believe that anything that is learnable can be learned if proper environment and prerequisite conditions are provided. They believe anybody can learn. Everybody can learn. There's nobody who is condemned from birth, that you are born, yours is, No, there's no segregation. You can actually learn. It's just the rate at which you learn that will determine when to finish. So a person's true potential, this is a very strong statement, is not known. Who you are, we cannot say who you are. That it is impossible to foresee what can be accomplished with years of passion, toil, and training. Yeah? People who are very sharp, they end up being very frustrated. Yeah? But people who are consistent, they are practiced and they are focused, they have passion, they end up going very far. Because they are focused, they are determined, they don't give up, and they end up being very successful. So all of you, it doesn't matter in whichever category you are in, there is hope for you that if you are focused, if you set your mind properly, there is hope that you will succeed in whatever activities you are doing, whether business, whether education, whichever form, so long as you set your mind in the right inclination. So the passion for stretching yourself and sticking to it even when it's not going well. Even when it's not going well. An example is if you are a runner, if you are running. I don't know whether some of you have gone, is it cross country? We used to have cross country. You know, you go several kilometers. And for you to finish, you must be very careful that if this is the cross country, the way the carpet is, you don't finish, you don't stop when you reach that corner. And what encourages these runners, I'm told, is they only count a few steps. They don't count the distance. They don't imagine of the distance, but they just imagine of the few steps they are making. And they are consistent with those few steps. And finally, you find you have become number one. So it is not, you don't look at the the difficulties ahead. I know it is hard. It's very hard. But you look at the efforts you are making at every step. And that's the idea for the growth mindset. So this mindset allows people to thrive during challenging times, remembering that nothing ventured, nothing gained. If you are a person who never ventures, you're a person who never takes efforts, you will never gain anything. That's a saying. Also, if at first you don't succeed, try again. Try again. Because you are not doomed by failing the first time. By failing the first time, you learn the weakness and do it better next time. And you'll be happy after all, so long as you achieve at the end of it. So nothing ventured, nothing gained. If you fail at the first time, try again. And also remember, we are told Rome was never built in a day. It took several days to achieve what it is. So, this diagram, I don't know whether it will help. There are two brains here. This is the fixed mindset, and this is the growth mindset. In the fixed mindset, they understand that intelligence is fixed. Either you are born clever or you are not clever. You are either clever or not clever. That's a fixed mindset. So in the fixed mindset, that's a brain, it tends to avoid challenges. When it has some obstacle, it gives up very easily. Also, it tends, when there is criticism, it's defensive. When there is success, when you are doing something and you see a colleague succeeding, instead of you learning and getting inspired, you become threatened. Your mind is, so I will not succeed. No, you should be able to be encouraged that actually this thing can work so that you do it better and also succeed. So with fixed mindset, it ends up being a scenario where you don't achieve your highest potential. You plateau so fast. You don't reach your maximum potential because because of these attributes of when seeing an obstacle, you give up. When seeing a challenge, it's a threat. When seeing criticism, instead of taking it positively, you become defensive, and in the end, you don't achieve your potential. Contrarily, on the growth mindset, it looks at intelligence as something that can develop. Intelligence can be developed. And therefore, it appreciates learning. When it sees a challenge, it embraces challenges. When it sees challenges, it does not shy off, but it embraces challenges. It also, when it looks at obstacles, it is able to persist. When an obstacle has come in, you don't give up, but you persist. The idea is you must find a solution out of it. When it sees somebody succeeding, it is passionate about it because it means there are lessons to be learned and inspirations. And so these people tend to achieve very high potential. They achieve very high in their activities, or they succeed so highly. People with the growth mindset. Maybe this one will be better. When you are looking at goals, people with fixed mindset, they look at SMART goals because them they believe you must be smart from the start. You don't learn. But on the other side, the growth mindset is looking at a goal as a learning or an improving aspect. When there is effort required, for example, if you are doing an exercise, and this is a practical thing. If you are reaching our age, you are supposed to do exercise. So you either do some press-ups or you run a few kilometers because the body is demanding that you do an exercise. You must put in some effort. For a fixed mindset, an effort is negative. I should not be interfered with my comfort. I should just relax, eat, relax, nothing like effort. It is negative. While on the other side, it is positive. You will be learning something else in your stead as you do that exercise. This one is challenge seeking. That is the growth mindset. While on the fixed mindset, it is avoiding challenges. You know people who avoid challenges. That mind is not good. You can change it and make a better mind, a better look of it. Change represents a threat for a fixed mindset. But a challenge is a challenge. A change is a challenge for a growth mindset. Setbacks, when there's a setback, the fixed mindset is helpless, while the other one is resilient. Response to criticism is defensive, the other one is learning. View other success as a threat, while that one is for a lesson and inspiration. Attributes for wrongdoing, they believe it is because it was inborn. Yeah? The other one is situational and motivation. Just motivation and situation can determine your traits, can determine what you are. Attributes, response to wrongdoing, very quickly they go for punishment and retaliation, while the other one will go for education and compromise. Of course, you saw the schools were being banned recently. They were saying it's the whip that does. Punishment is not the solution. The solution is, what is it that is causing these fellows to ban? If we can find out that, then we'll have really solved. But by punishing or threatening, you are not actually solving the problem. Yeah? This one is a simple exercise. What can I say about myself? Because what you say is what you become, actually. What you say is what the response of your mind. Instead, what can I say? Like number one, there are 10 growth mindset statements. Like, what am I missing? If you are solving a problem and you don't get it, what am I missing? Instead of saying, I'm not good at this, try to find out what you are missing to change the situation. Am I on the right track? Instead of saying, I'm awesome at this. Or, I will use some of the strategies we have learned, instead of, I give up. This may take some time and effort. It may be a very difficult problem, so you really need to have patience. But for this fixed mindset, it will say, it is too hard. You have such kind of characters. It is too hard. It's too hard for what? You just take time and you get the solution. Or I always improve as I keep trying. I can always improve as I keep trying. I can't make this any better. Or I'm going to train my brain in maths. And this is for ladies. Although these days I think ladies have overcome this. I'm going to train my brain in maths. I just can't do maths. Yeah? Mistakes help me to learn better. Instead of saying, I made a mistake. I'm going to figure out how she does it. Instead of saying, she is so smart, I will never be like her. Is it really my best effort? Instead of, is good enough. And finally, when your plan A has not worked, remember there are 25 more letters in the alphabet. So there's more room for improvement. Okay. So generally, when you believe that a person's character or intelligence and creativity abilities are predetermined, it means no matter how hard that person tries or she cannot become more intelligent. People with this mindset think that you should be perfect from the beginning. But flexed or growth mindset people believe that you start with a normal set of intelligence like any other person or with character traits, but they are just springboards. They are just the things you have to help you jump far. They are not determining your jumping. They are not going to determine your capacity or your potential. They are just helping the basic things you need to help you do more. So these people believe hard work and dedication, the growth mindset people, believe hard work, dedication, discipline will allow them to achieve goals that they cannot, and they are not just stuck with what was given to them by God. They believe with the discipline, dedication, and hard work, you can achieve your goals. We are talking about the mind. I tried to find out which is the best way to relax your mind. There are 6 ways which I found out that with these 6 ways you can relax your mind. You can have your mind. You can give your mind a break. 1, stop stressing. How will you stop stressing? Maybe walking, exercising, basking, or soft music. You relax your mind. 2, stop worrying. Through meditation, self-belief, persistent, open up, you relax your mind. And then, number 3 is very important. Give rest to the problem weighing you down. If there is a very serious problem, give it a rest. Otherwise, your mind will be overwhelmed. And then lighten up by singing if you are a Christian, performing, and limit your negativity. Forgive yourself and forgive others. Avoid carrying blame and hate. So finally, I will end up with this quote. It is saying that quitting is never an option on the road to success. Quitting is not an alternative. Find the way forward. If you have a positive mindset and you are willing to persevere, it is hard work. There is little that is beyond your reach. The attitude of being ready to work, even in the face of challenges, despite the odds, is what will make all the difference in your life. I feel that quote is relevant for us. Thank you very much.